Welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back. If you have, my intention is unity and oneness and the highest levels of love light. I just want to go into a little bit of flow with the guides. So taking a deep breath in and just dropping into the heart space, dropping into the body. There is energy that is pouring through, if you will, not only the pores of the earth and the pouring in from the rays of the sun, it is being absorbed into the pores of the skin technology that then changes the adaptability of the human. And we share this because oftentimes we are covering our skin, we are avoiding the sun, we are afraid of our waters. We are not touching our feet to the ground. And this sense of separation is more than just an energy. It's more. I'm just seeing it's a lot more. It's like creates a sense of separation with ourselves. It creates a sense of separation from the environment, and it becomes a pattern that many people are not recognizing they have adapted. So when we create this lack of sensitivity to our environment and we become tuned in with the digital technology that we are around much more frequently, oftentimes, than the outdoor activities, one might say, we lose touch. We lose the abilities that are available to us. We lose touch with our inner availability of these abilities that are actually working its way through our system. So as the sun shines, as the photons and energy that comes from the sun in the form of radiation, which we know strikes fear in the heart of many, we are not as dainty and delicate as many of us might think. Now, while some people are have the necessity to use sunblock or to block the rays of the sun because of conditions that they may have developed, that is a different story. Yet there are no conditions that are developed necessarily from touching our feet on the earth, having our toes in the grass, putting our legs in a river, lake, or stream, stepping with the rocks and the sand on the beach. These things are part of our activations that are being gifted to us. For when the sun touches the skin of the earth absorbs the frequency and the energy and the rays. And this creates a chemical conduction within her charge that in return charges us, all of the rocks and crystals and animals and food, the plants and water are charged with this energy. And it was created for this purpose. There is no complete chaos or disorder to the living system that we are all intrinsically part of. While there is some chaotic activity that happens through evolution, of course, there is still a master plan, meaning a schematic that is followed. Thinking of the golden code, the Fibonacci, as some call it, spiral, the spiral of life, the spin, the I'm seeing neutrons and electrons and protons and charge and all of it, the toroidal field. The field that we are all part of, that we are accessing through our breath, through our vision, our touch, and all of the above, is divinely orchestrated. It has an actual uh, movement, sound, and pattern to it. And it is irrelevant in some regards as to what this actually um, is transmitted from. Let us just say in this particular message, it is a transmission. It is there. There is a divine architecture and blueprint that is underlying all things. And there is no haphazardness to it in reality. For we are learning through quantum physics and technology that there is a secret sauce, one might say. There is an actual energy or glue on, or fabric that everything is encapsulated within. And for the purpose of this message, that is all we wish to convey. If you feel into the divine blueprint that you are immersed from, you will feel the truth in these words. Letting go of the need to understand the origin of these words, to understand and logically interpret what this means, we invite you to feel into the geometry behind all things, including yourself. We might say the strings on an instrument that are played have a sound, yet they are part of a medium that must be played. Yet the sound is what the instrument makes when it is played, yet the instrument is not the sound. If you were to measure the sound, it has a shape and a geometry and a frequency. And so we might say that the blueprint is the frequency that is behind all of these things. So if all is a sound, a geometry, and a frequency and vibration, then what is the frequency and vibration that you are sounding out? What do you sound like? What is the sound that you wish to express in this medium or plasma soup that we are all part of? And so we take a moment to hold space for this thought pattern, for this question to be asked and to be felt into. For we are oftentimes too busy creating something that is coming from one part of our entire instrument. I'm seeing the left brain, right? That we're creating from that, and that's all we're using. That it is difficult for us to access our entire instrument, and recognizing that our physical body is not the only part of this equation. We are more than meets the eye. Yet, what meets the eye, the I see in all, okay, this is the play on words, is more than many of us are recognizing. We are seeing what we have been taught to see. We're looking through a version of reality that we have been taught to mingle with. We have been taught to interpret things in a certain view, a certain way, or a certain way in which to view things. We associate much of what we see with memories, words, patterns that are associated with these words, and so on and so forth. And this is not new news. None of this is new necessarily. However, we invite you to feel into the new you, for we are all being rebirthed at every opportunity, at every given moment throughout the day, from one perspective or an aspect, but we all have really truly been rebirthed from another perspective into this new reality. And so this is a new way in viewing our instruments, how we play our instruments, how we tune into, or how we tune our instruments. And yet we also are being called to hear, where, feel into, where, or what from, or the resonance of where this is all coming from. And when we tune into that, I call it the sound behind the sound, we feel something click. We feel a particular energy that allows us to move with new fluidity in this womb of life. And so we are being called to feel into life itself, the recognition that we are life, that without our breath and without our ability to see things, we would not know that life exists in this way, on this planet, in this particular adaptive technology called the human. And so, how we are choosing to interact with life as life is truly up to us. And so, whether or not we were created from a form, or whether or not this form has a name, or whether or not this form is what we think it is, becomes something that is not as important as the actual connection to the energy that moves through all things. For once we establish that connection, we feel the true frequency of our lifeline. We feel the ability to feel into the expansiveness that is life, that we are feeling through. For we are all connected to more, and many of us know this. Rather than looking for every door and trying to understand more all the time, we are invited in this now moment to let go of time and the need to always know more and just feel for a moment. For in this feeling, in this ability to open the signals within the body and the system of the human technology, we are then able to access all of those doors. And we let go of the need to logically interpret how each individual door is accessed. And instead, we become the door. We become the access to the doors, the axis, and we become more of that walking, breathing, living life form that moves through the form or medium that is part of ourselves, our cells, our energy, our sound frequency, our chemistry, our biology. And this is something to be in awe of, to stand back and expand into, to look from this broader perspective that we are the life, we are the lifeline to the, I'm seeing lines like energy lines, light lines. I'm seeing synapses, plasma, stars, photons, neuron, all of it. We are the line that's connecting all things. And I'm being shown like the weavers. We're just light. So once we do this and we feel into this resonance of more and access this portal as the human, we can then begin to decode, if you will, some of the information that has been difficult to process. And we begin to process this information with less difficulty. We begin to process this information and rearrange the coordinates and the coordination in which we access this information. We begin to rearrange the coordination in our own body and what we coordinate with and the coordinates of where we are going. And we begin to change the coordinates in our map, architecture, blueprint, life matrix that we are all part of. And we do this through the vibratory speed or fluency or coherence or wave making mechanics that are part of what we are. Notice we did not say who we are, for it is bigger than that. It is all of that, and we are all of that. Okay, I'm going to end on that note. Thank you so much for tuning in love and light. Namaste.